Hey you guys, hey, I am back with another video. My name is Tracy Smalls Deleston. Let's jump straight on into this video. Dating. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, dating is not the time to be sexually active with anyone. Dating is the time when you should be enjoying this individual that you've just met, enjoying their company, just enjoying their time, enjoying getting to know who they are. That is the time when you should be gathering as much information about not only the individual that you've just met, but their family as well. If they have children, how do they communicate with their children? You have to be willing to ask hardcore questions in the beginning of dating. That is not the time to be sexually active with any of them that you're dating. You have to really get to know that individual, know what they're like, know what their hang-ups are. But how would you really truly be able to effectively judge them if you're already sexually intimate with them? Especially women, because we get so emotionally tied to guys that we're in a sexual relationship with. So we don't want to ask those hard questions. We don't want to know. We just want that relationship to move forward. But you could be potentially moving forward into something that is not only toxic, but can potentially be extremely dangerous. Why? Because you don't take the time to ask important questions. You don't want to just be asking the questions like, well, what do you like doing? What type of work do you do? Those are just the common questions, basic questions. What about asking that guy, have you ever been sexually molested? Or that woman, the same question. What about asking them, did you graduate from high school? What were you like in school? What were you like as a child? How did your family raise you? Did y'all live in poverty conditions? Would you say your family was pretty well off financially? What about those hardcore questions like that? Hey, did you grow up in a household where your parents used to argue all of the times? That is a very good question, because if you two decide to get connected as husband and wife, that could be a very important question, because that could potentially be an indicator of what could potentially go on in your marriage if this person is unhealthy. But we're so quick. I'm guilty. Everything that I talk about, most of it I've already dealt with. We're so quick to get involved physically, and we have no clue of what this person is like, what kind of background they came from. All we see is that nice smile, that gentle gesture, that yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Like my former husband, very humble, speaking to people. Thank you. No, thank you. And I'm thinking, I have the sweetest man ever. But that became one of the most toxic relationships that I was in. Why? Because I did not ask serious questions, and I also did not pay attention to the dynamics of his family. Their family is a clear cut indication of what they could potentially be like. So you cannot ignore it. Stop ignoring these serious signs that could potentially change your life. So when you meet him or her, go out on the dates, go out to dinner, go out to the movies, whatever you all like doing. Talk, constantly talk. Now, there are certain things that I don't recommend that you share right in the beginning. And this is just in my opinion. Ladies, particularly, I wouldn't suggest that you get out there telling him how much financial problems you're in right now. Because, see, that could be the bait that he uses to reel you in. If he's ravishing you with gifts, taking you out on expensive trips, paying all of your bills, then you may think, wow, I've got a good man. But what you don't know is he's conniving. He could be a cheater. He could be jealous. He could be controlling. He could be extremely overbearing. You don't pay any attention to those things. He could be that guy that wants to take you away from your family. He could be that guy that truly is broke. But just to use that as bait, that could truly happen if you're not careful. So unless you know that you're seriously going to be getting involved with this guy, then later on you may want to share some of that. But in my humble opinion, work on your finances before you even get to that point of getting serious with anyone so that you won't have to share that with him. Maybe perhaps you could tell him, you know what? I used to be financially bound. But man, I got myself together and I made a decision that I would never take that role again, ever again in my life. Let him understand and see just how adamant you are and responsible you are about taking care of yourself. That is huge. So stop dating with the hookups, the sexual hookups. Because he could be that guy or she could be that woman that like, you that's not going to work for me. That will not work for me. So that one will not work. Then you move on to number 2, that don't work. You move on to number 3, that don't work. And you find yourself already had sexual relations with 3, 4, 5 people before you finally get to that one. So save yourself some time, trouble, and a whole lot of heartache. Wait. Date him. Date her. Don't sex. Don't sex him or her. Date. Think of dating. It's just you're on a think about it on you're on a job. You're on a 90-day probation period, and I'm just using 90 days for the sake of this conversation. But let's give them months. Think about it on a 90-day probation period. You want to be on your P's and Q's. You don't think other people would want to be on their P's and Q's when they first meet you? So you want to make sure that while you're in that probation period, you're seeing all of the ins and outs of this person because they can't carry on with a lie forever. Unless they're real outright dirty. Now, I'm not talking about the Lifetime movies because there are some people who have lived double lives for years before they got caught. But I still do believe, even in those situations, there was a little something that individual saw that they chose to ignore. So ask those hardcore questions. Molestation. Have you ever been touched? When did you lose your virginity? What do you think about women's rights? What do you think about abortion? What do you think about same-sex marriage? Ask all of these questions. Because if you hook up later on and you have children together, and one don't believe in same-sex marriage and the other one is okay, y'all will have problems. So ask questions. Now I gotta go. Y'all enjoy the rest of your morning, noon, or night whenever you're viewing this video. Take care of yourselves. And always remember, healthy mind, joyful life. Do not allow anyone to distort your peace, joy, or happiness. Take care until the next time. Bye-bye.